Okay, welcome to the second part of part 4. I've undone a piece of sinew. I don't want too long. That's going to be about right. Not quite as long as it was to sew it round. Okay, put that out of the way. Now I'm going to take my piece of whipping again. I'm going to lay that on there. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece underneath. And this is where it gets a little fiddly for the camera. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Because you're going to want to hold that in. You're going to bind that in now. Okay. And I've got this one that's, I'm just going to wind out of the way there because it's in the way. These are quite fiddly when you come to do the smaller heads, when you've got other bits on them. So, as I said, make a single head first before you venture, would be my advice. But then if you're mad like I am, you just dive in both feet, because that's the only way you really learn. And you learn by doing. So I'm pulling it, as you can see, I'm pulling this quite tight while I'm doing it. Okay, well, round and round. Just try not to get the other piece that's dangling. You'll understand why I've got that piece dangling when I've finished. Okay. So that can go round one more time as well. So I'm going to go up, loop it through my whipping there, my two ends, pull the ends together. You're going to pull that in on itself. There we go. And you can, because it's waxy, the heat from your hands holds it on. And then, sorry, my arm reaching over there, I'm going to snip that piece off. So that's that head on there. Okay. Just tidy that up just a little bit there. Lovely. Okay. And now for this last one. Okay. Again, I've got my piece of whipping. That's quite long. I'm quite happy with that piece. So I'm going to lay that on the head again. And I'm going to wind this round nice and tight. Try and get it as neatly as you can, so it's next to it as opposed to over it. So you can mould it with your hands. As I say, as the wax sort of gets a little hot, and so you sort of mould it a little bit like marzipan in a way. Just keep going round and round, pulling it tight on each movement. And always make sure that you've got enough length to pull through, because if you go too short, you haven't got enough to pull through. So I'm now going to take this up here again, if you're watching, and pull it through, just like that. Cut that piece off. So there we have two superb rattles. Now, one of the reasons, this is where you can have fun. You can leave them as plain as you want, or you can decorate them. I'm not going to go into feathers at the moment, because there's a lot of feathers that you aren't allowed to use. So I'm not going to even go there at the moment with feathers, to put feathers on your rattle. But I said earlier how nice it is to have a collection of beads. And these bits that are hanging, I'm just going to snip any bits off that I don't want. You can decorate. So I've got various beads. I'm thinking it would be nice to put the Celtic colours on this one. So the Celtic colours being yellow for the east, white for the south, red for the west, and a black one for the north. Now somebody's bound to write in or say, oh, that's not the colours I use, it's colours we use here, so get over it, sort of thing, you know. With love, that is. You have, you know, everyone has their own, take on colours of quarters, but these always feel good to me because if you look at it this way, yellow, the sun, the rising sun. White is the real heat of fire, which is in the south. Red, the west, it's the lifeblood that flows through us in the berries of the setting sun. Black, time of earth, darkness, mother, the ancestors. So what I'm going to do, carefully, is try and knot this. And then what I try to do, after I've done that, is you have to work with your beads. So I'm going to put my sinew back through. And get it right through. So I can actually knot that on, and then I can go round with it because I don't really want it dangling too much. You see what I've done there? And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it off. Now sinew also splits, so I'm going to split it like that. So then I can knot that, so that should be pretty secure on there. So they shouldn't come off. And then I'm going to just trim that. So you can put on, if you follow your directions in different colours, put your own colours on, that's fine. And it's all how you want it to be, really. Then I've got another bit here, so you could go with some really small, these are just some of the beads that you can get. All of these you can get online. These are beads that I've collected over the years, and you can have such fun with them. All different sorts of colours. I quite like these little tiny beads sometimes. Here. It's fascinating. They're just so, you can just do so much with these. I'm going to put just a couple more on here, and then this one's going to be finished. I think I'd like to go with these really small. If it might be a bit too small, I do choose. I'm not sure where the hole is. I'll glue one first. It takes a lot of patience sometimes, but it's worth spending a bit of time on it. I'm just trying to show you quite quickly and give you sort of ideas of how you can decorate your rattles. But spend a bit more time doing this. And it's really nice to make something like this as well as a gift for someone. You see, you definitely need a little bit of patience with it. There you go. I quite like that, and I think, sometimes less is more. I think you can put too much on. I'm just wondering if I've got a little tiny black one in here. That would be really nice. Yes, I have I? It's not quite the same size. Here's the magic box. Okay, a really little diddy black one here, so I'm hoping it's going to play ball with me and be kind to us today, because it's really diddy. The pads are so beautiful. Right, that's a little bit too tiny, so I'm going to have to give up on that one. So I'm going to go with a slightly bigger one. But as I say, this is just to give you an idea. So again, what you have to do now is just knot your sinew. It's just enough to stop your beads coming off, really. I'll put a couple there so it doesn't come off. And then I'm just going to cut that. So there you have that rattle. Quite nice. It's got a lovely sound. You ready for the sound? Yes, great, isn't it? So we can have a little go with this one. So this is another sort of nice beads that I really love. They're just amazing what you can get. All these beads, again, little propellers. You can get little skulls. I made an ancestor rattle a little while ago. Got a little owl on there. It might be nice, a bit of owl medicine on here, I think, on this one. So I'm gonna thread my. It's lovely because especially if you want to make these and make them as gifts too, or you put your own personal medicine on. I mean, if owl is one of your power allies, then wow, you know, how cool is that? So I'm just gonna knock that round like that, so it's secure on there. There we go. I've got a little owl on there. That's really cool. And then I think it needs something else. Which one shall we have? Sally, want to point one out? We want to be a fairly small one. That one. This is a little big. It's a little bit big, that one. Ah, no, that's better. I'll put that in there. And that looks really nice now, look at that. Okay. And now I'm going to knock that off. Hey, that's nice. I think maybe one more. Something pretty. More. I'm hoping this is just giving you an idea of just what you can do. It's so much. Okay. Well, and what you can do also, if you make a knot, I'm going to take that off and show you. Just make a knot there. I'm hoping this is going to work, so I'm going to look silly if it doesn't. And now I'm going to take the smallest one. Okay, so that goes to that one. And it can't go further than that because I've knotted it, you see. And then I'm going to make another knot. There. Okay. And now I'm going to put this one on. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and split this again. Like that. And knot it to finish it off. Okay. If you really, really wanted to, I'm not going to, you could even bead those two bits as well. You could have more beads coming down. I personally think that's enough. I don't like too much stuff on them. I'm going to cut that piece off now. Okay, get rid of the bead box. And then, last but not least is the next part, really. So I've made the rattles, beautiful horse rattles. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give them a smudge yet again. We can't get enough of this, so we don't mind. Oh, fire, fire. So, as we're smudging these rattles, we'll clean the space. There's a pot down there, I'm not putting it on the floor. And I'm going to give them a good smudge now. And while I'm smudging them, I'm giving thanks to the wood come to us. Giving thanks for the animal hide, the horse, for its medicine. Horse teaches us a lot, and I like working with horse. But, you'll know once you work with a rattle whether it's for a medicine tool as such, or a gift, or for an instrument. You'll know. And all the time I'm thanking the horse that's come to us. Even the man-made, man-made sinew and the beads. Thanks to all those components, all of those parts that have come. That's how you make a rattle. And enjoy. And when you make them, put your creations up on our page. It would be really nice to see them on the Shamanic Insights page. Make your rattles and put them on there. Take a photograph and enjoy.